Simon, everyone came to you guys and they had this idea to invent One Direction. And then I think people I don't even know, like, did you even meet anyone before they put you guys together?
Yeah, we knew each other, like, just from around.
Okay.
Because we were, like, a similar age and stuff, so naturally you speak to people who were, like, a similar age to you around there and stuff, and we were at boot camp together, and I met Harry on my audition day because we both auditioned in Manchester, and we were literally sat next to each other in the audition.
Oh, so it was like fucking meant to be.
He was sat right next to me, we spoke, and I went in and did like a producing audition round, and then he went in straight after me. And we spoke a little bit there, yeah.
So you weren't complete strangers. That's good to know. Because I didn't know if they like just threw you all together and then you were like, hey,
it's edited very well, obviously. You know, you don't see all behind the scenes and stuff. But yeah, you spend a lot of time with the contestants.
Okay, got it. Once you started, obviously, One Direction and you joined One Direction, like, how quickly did your actual life change? Was it overnight immediate or was it a little bit gradual?
It was kind of strange. The like, visual evidence of life changing, like people being outside of the studio and stuff, was like, when we were on the live shows, we started to get like a fan base and an audience, and you could see that people were paying interest in us. So yeah, from that point on, like, it was kind of a bit crazy.
Like, what were you even able to comprehend it?
Not really. I don't think I comprehended it at all. Like, I think it's just a rush, you know. It was like just fun, and then the repetitive fun over and over again eventually is going to take its toll, you know what I mean? So then you look at it a certain way when you're in that, and like it feels overbearing. Now I look back at it like it was a rush, you know. It was fun. It was something that was amazing. Like, so of course I wasn't going to understand it. It's not something I expected in my life, but it was definitely fun for sure. Yeah.
Because it is so interesting. I think people forget, like, you were 17 at the time.
Yeah, 17, yeah.
Like, my brother lived in this house at 17 and was, like, picking his nose and going to Wawa and, like, trying to fucking get girls to pay attention to him. And you are, like, all of a sudden overnight become one of the biggest stars in the world. Can you help us, commoners over here, Zayn? Commoners. Can you help us understand, like, what skyrocketing to that level of fame can do to you as an individual when you're like by yourself at night, laying in bed, trying to understand like what is happening to you in your life?
Yeah, you can definitely get into, you know, deep places of thought if you really reflect on it in that kind of manner. To be honest with you, I don't think I was even like intellectually capable to do that at that age, you know. Like, I think it's took time for me to process them things. I think I've had to like process it with an older mind and look at it backwards and be like, yo, this was why this happened, and this is what happened, and you know, we took off at this point, and this interview made this happen, and then this song made this happen, and just decipher it, you know, as like facts rather than like in an emotional manner, because emotion like just seems to just blur things, you know. Right. So I try not to think about them things on that kind of level, like, oh, I'm super famous. Like, I just make music, you know. I love singing, and people seem to have an interest in it.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, a little bit, just a little bit. No, I almost get what you're saying. Like, you kind of have to black it out and just be present, because if you stop to think about all of it, then it's all gonna come
exactly. Yeah, and that's how I deal with it. I don't black it out so much, but I just don't overthink, you know. It works for me that way, I think.
Yeah, you just almost have to stay present, because it's like, what else
in the moment
do?
Yeah, just enjoy it, and then like in, you know, 10 years time you can look back and be like, this is what happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, now you can look at it in hindsight and be like,
if you have 10 years time, but
right,
if you have that luxury.
Yeah, but you've had time probably now to be like, whoa, in your quiet moments now in life where you can actually sit and dissect things that at 17, 18 years old, again, like you said, I was just having fun. I was just going with it. And also, it's not like you were just on this solo tour. Like, you were a part of something. So that also probably affected of like, be a good team player. Like, go with the flow. Like, do what you got to do. Obviously, your guys' fans are insane. They're obsessed. They're still obsessed. They're everywhere. They love you guys. Can you share any like memorable fan moments that you remember to this day that have stuck with you, of just like anything that happened that you're like, damn,
I've probably said this a lot of times, but honestly, it was one of the craziest and most bizarre moments ever. I remember coming out of the studio once in Sweden when we were recording What Makes You Beautiful, and this is before even we dropped our first single, and there was like a row of like maybe 5-6 bins, like trash cans, like outside of the studio, and I came out and like every single one of the trash cans opens and there's like 3 people inside of each trash can.
How did I not know?
And they tried to like grab me, and it was a very memorable moment. That was for sure. Yeah, I think I had a mini heart attack.
Humans popped out from garbage cans and tried to grab you.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking video game.
Yeah, it was.
Like swallow you into the fucking
into the trash can.
What?
Yeah, it's funny, man.
Oh wow. Do you think that in any way
that's dedication though, right? Like to get into a trash can. Like
Zayn, they were willing to get in the trash bucket for you. Okay? Motherfucker, they are loyal.
They are.
Do you think that those kind of moments though, not that we don't love the fans, we're obsessed, but like people being so obsessed with you, like is there any lingering paranoia from people constantly staring at you and following you? No,
not really. I don't have paranoia in that sense. No.
That's good. You sleep well.
Yeah, I do. I sleep in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know. Look, it's raining.
I can hear the crickets. It's amazing. There's no crazy people out there.
No one crazy in Pennsylvania. That's debatable. You're performing in front of massive crowds, and I know you're kind of saying like you were in the moment, but like, were you able to just easily get in front of all these people? Was there no fear or anxiety that came with like standing in front of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people when you're on stage?
I think there was, but I don't think we had time for it. Mm-hmm. Like there was no like you have time to have anxiety or be nervous. You're just kind of gonna go do it, you know, like get on with it. So yeah, I think we just got thrown into the deep end and we kind of just had to swim, you know, like and I feel like we did a good job, like in terms of like, you know, the keeping it together and making the music that we were meant to make. I think I got out at the right time. I think if I'd have done it any longer, it might have affected me a bit more, but I think we did the right amount, you know?
I think it's interesting too, because when you look at bands or even just like any brand that has like multiple people attached to it, like everyone loves to put archetypes with people, like the Spice Girls, for example. Perfect example. Mm-hmm. You have to label everyone. And so for a boy band, it would be like the boy next door, like the bad boy, like the brooding one or the funny one. Like what persona do you think you played?
They used to make out that I was like the brooding serious one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't necessarily my personality type. I think it's just a marketing scheme, you know. You've got the Teletubbies, you've got Spice Girls, you've got whatever. Like it's just a marketing scheme, you know. Like, oh, this is this one. So I get it, but I don't think you can define an entire person to one personality trait. You know, we're a little bit more complex than that. I don't know what my trait would have been if I'd have given myself one. It might have took a long time to come up with one if I was going to do that. So I could see why they just said, oh, yeah, you can be the mysterious one.
Yeah, it's interesting. I love the Teletubby reference. You're like, the Teletubbies, the Spice Girls, One Direction. I'm like, the fucking Teletubbies.
But I think right. Simon was behind the Teletubbies too.
Stop. Was he actually?
And the Power Rangers, yeah.
It's so fucking crazy. It's all coming full circle.
He's got a marketing plan.
Fuck. No, but it's interesting. So I was going to ask, like, I agree. You kind of had this, like, brooding, mysterious personality, and that's why I'm excited to sit down with you today because, again, those stereotypes that were put onto people, I'm curious if, first of all, who comes up with that? Marketing people, I guess.
I'm guessing so.
Yeah, it's not like the fans. It kind of just happens.
Well, yeah, and maybe some of the fans kind of, like, naturally say this too, you know what I mean, from like pictures and things like that. Like, so
did you agree? So you didn't agree with it, but do you think you leaned into it more, or do you were just
I think whatever? I just had one face to pull, you know. In my I was doing the Zoolander, like that was it, you know what I mean. I was only a young kid, I didn't know what else to do.
I get it. If anything, maybe it made it easier because you're like, this is just my lane.
Yeah,
this is me.
Just stick with this. They won't ask me too many questions.
Do you think you're mysterious?
Not really. I just like to just like chill, you know, like to be in the back a little bit. Yeah, I'm a bit more relaxed. I'm not like trying to like be in your face, you know.
You're not trying to jump in front.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well now you're solo, so you got to jump in
That's
front,
it.
Zayn. Okay, we're gonna get there.
Take the reins.
I love how you kind of mentioned, you know, you got out at the right time, and I think that you leaving the band obviously shook the fucking world, and everyone was like, Zayn, like, no, like, keep it together. But I think what, again, we forget is you're a human being, and you clearly had to take care of your mental health and do what was best for you. Can you, I know you've lightly talked about this, but just so we get a full circle moment, can you just take us back to that moment of like actually sitting with yourself and knowing it was time to leave?
Yeah, I think I'd known for a minute. There was a lot of, look, I don't want to go into too much detail, but there was a lot of politics going on. Certain people were doing certain things, certain people didn't want to sign contracts. So I knew something was happening. So I just got ahead of the curve. If I'm being honest with you, I was like, I'm just going to get out of here. I think this is done. And I just seen it. And I completely selfishly wanted to be the first person to go and make my own record. If I'm being completely honest with you, I was like, I'm going to jump the gun here for the first time. I'm a passive dude, but when it comes to my music and my business, I'm serious about it and I'm competitive. So I wanted to be the first to go and do my own thing. That was the reason. And then there was obviously underlying issues like within our friendships too. We'd been together every day for 5 years and we'd got sick of each other, if we're being completely honest. So we were close, you know. We'd done crazy things with each other and that nobody else in the world will ever understand or have them experiences that we've shared with each other. And I look back on it now in a much fonder light than I would have, you know, as I'd just left. There were great experiences, I had great times with them.